Hey everybody, welcome back. We're working on our 2-point perspective street corner scene. I know you can't see it very well. I've got it moved over. We're going to show you something in here. So one of the things that we have to do is we have to do a series of posts that are evenly spaced out in perspective. What that means is that the posts, you can't measure them because the space between them as they go away from us should be getting what? It should be getting smaller. So because of that, we're gonna show you a system that will allow you to evenly space light posts, fence posts, parking meters, things like that. So imagine if we had a rectangle, okay, that was, let's say this, here's our rectangle, all right? And we've already seen how we find the center of that. But let's imagine that the line that makes the bottom extends out for a long time. And the line that makes the top extends out for a long time. Now we would use a straight edge for that. For the sake of time, I'm just using no straight edge. So if we could find the center of these first two sides here, the center of this rectangle, we could just do a diagonal from corner to corner. That wasn't a very accurate one there. Okay, and we find the center. Now if we could find the center, then we could draw a line that goes through the center of these two lines. Okay, now let's change this. Let's say that this is fence post number 1 and fence post number 2. And I found the center. This is the top of all the fence posts in the row. This is the bottom of all the fence posts in the row. And this would be the middle of all, excuse that, the bell's ringing. And this would be the middle of all the fence posts in the row of fence posts. So all we would have to do to find where post number 3 and 4 go is we could put a straight edge up and we could draw a line from the top of the first post through the middle of the second post, and wherever it hit the ground would be where we put the third post. So we put the third post right there. And then if we wanted to find the fourth post, we could go from the top of the second post through the middle of the third post, and wherever we hit the ground, and again, I'm not using a straight edge, I really need to, but would be the fourth post. And all of these would be spaced out the same distance. Because what we have found is that if it works on a flat piece of paper, like the X to find the middle, we can do that in perspective. So let's go over here to our drawing, and we'll move over here. And let's make a row of fence posts in perspective. So I'm going to take my straight edge, and I'm going to do exactly what I did over here, only I'm going to draw it in perspective. So let's put a fence down here on the other side of the street. So here's post number 1. All right. Now I draw a line from the bottom of that back to the vanishing point, and that's going to be the bottom of every post. Now I draw a line from the top of that back to the vanishing point, and that's going to be the top of every post, okay? Pardon my voice, it's kind of going on me. So now I put in the second post. It doesn't matter, I decide how far I want them spaced apart. Let's say I want them about that far apart. I put a vertical line in from the bottom to the top, okay? Now I'm going to find the center of that rectangle, just like I did over there. Only this time I am going to use the straight edge because and I'm just going to put the center. I don't need to draw the full lines. I just need to know where the two lines would cross. So that's the middle in perspective of that rectangle. I'll trim that up for you a little bit there. Now I'm going to draw that back to the vanishing point, and that will be the middle of every post in that line of fence post, or line of parking meters, or line of power poles, or whatever I decide that it is. I missed a little bit there, okay? So now, all I have to do is go from the top of this fence post through the middle of the second post, and where it hits the bottom line will tell me where the third post should be to draw it correctly in perspective, to make them look like they're spaced out evenly. So for right now, I'm gonna put a dotted line so that you can see it, and where it crosses, now that's where the third post is. So I put a vertical line from the bottom up to the top, okay? And you see how the space is getting a little smaller. Now I go from the top of the second post through the middle of the third post to the bottom line. And again, I'll put the dotted line so that you can see, but all I would really have to do is put the little mark down here. And so just like it's supposed to do, the space between the posts are getting shorter and shorter and shorter and smaller. So when we say on our list up here, if you remember that, we say at least one row of evenly spaced repeating posts. Example, fence post, power lines, parking meters, such as that. And that's how we do it. So the next one would be the top of this post through the middle of that post would show us where the next one was, and so forth and so forth and so forth. So whenever you have evenly spaced things that you need, you don't need to measure them, because you'd have to come up with some advanced mathematical formula. All you really need to do is use this system, and it works really well. So that's how you do the evenly spaced series of posts. So good luck with that. You have to have at least one series of posts spaced out that way. They can be fence posts, they can be parking meters, they can even be the edges of windows. They can be power lines, things like that. Okay, good luck.